Hey guys, welcome to day number 23, I think, of 42 days of online fitness business. So super pumped to talk about something I feel super passionate about. So today is not so much a question as it is just a specific training. One of the things I've been thinking about a lot, I'm actually launching early to my Best of You, my Action Academy people this week. And so I've been thinking a lot about online business and a lot of kind of clinical pearls and things that I can pull from my experience and from working with over 500 women over the last 6 years in Best of You. And you know, it's really interesting. I'm always looking for like, what's the deciding factor? What's the thing that makes someone successful? Well, maybe other people aren't as successful, or they don't ever feel totally comfortable in the online space. And I'm always asking myself, like, what are those differences? Why do some people just totally take off and other people are really struggling? And I think it's, you know, a whole bunch of different factors. There's always like, you know, competing priorities and family and timing and things like that. I think a lot of people sometimes get into something like Best of You and with full steam ahead wanting to do business, and all of a sudden they're starting to grow their family, or something happens to their partner's job or something like that. And so it's understandable that a lot of times things come up that we don't really know, relationship stuff, career stuff, family stuff. But for some people who I've noticed, especially go through Best of You, they're maybe with me for a year or two, and then they just take off. And for them, it's like 1 year of transition, and then they're like, good, I got it, I'm going. And honestly, for me, that was the kind of mentee I was. When I hired my first business coach in 2012, I was that kind too. I was always a do-it-yourselfer. I love the idea of having a coach, and I love the idea of, if I needed to, that I could bounce ideas off someone. But I was always like you know, I'll take a little bit and then I'll run with it. And so I've been asking myself, what are those things? What are those specific things where some people really take off and other people just kind of flounder? And what are those biggest factors? At a high level, and this is what, number one, at a high level, it comes down to a certain level of confidence and conviction. So the whole point of something like Action Academy, which is my free course, the whole point of Action Academy is to start building confidence. Because when you start to see that you are actually good at this thing, remember, confidence is area specific. So you might know that you're a good mom, or you might know that you're good at this certain job that you have, but you've never done online business yet. So you're not sure that you're good at it yet. And so Action Academy is a 6-week course, and the reason why it is 6 weeks is so that you can get some wins under your belt. And then you start to see like, okay, I'm pretty decent at this, or I put out some great content and people are starting to really resonate with this, or I can help people. And in order to know that and feel confident in something, you need to see evidence that you are pretty good at it. So at a high level, the people that I see that take off in the online space are confident in their abilities. They're confident that they can help someone. They have conviction about the tools and the solutions that they can provide. A lot of times, if you're a gym, you know, if you're a trainer in the gym or you're a group fitness instructor, you've had years and years of being a competent trainer in the gym, and that does translate into the online space. You're like, okay, I've had to conduct all these personal training sessions. I've been in front of a huge group of people teaching a class. You kind of already have the confidence because you have gotten some results for people, at least in person. And so I think that really does matter. At a high level, you have to be someone who has confidence and conviction, and a little bit of faking it till you make it. So I know that's not a super popular mantra, because at some point you do have to actually make it. But I think at the beginning, because perception is important, being able to fake it a little bit, and just always reminding yourself that, and this is key, that you're never going to feel comfortable. You're actually never going to feel comfortable. And the people I see take off know that they can and should act from discomfort. When they feel that hesitancy, or they feel that, you know, feeling of like, I don't know if this is right, I feel a little uncertain, I don't know if this is going to be good enough, they take action anyway. And I know it sounds so cliche, but it's so simple. I think the people who are doing the most and are the most successful know it's never going to feel perfect. And by the way, you guys, no matter how long you've been into it, if you're going to the next level, it's never going to feel comfortable. I still have like huge things that I want to accomplish, and they don't feel comfortable. I'm scared. I'm super scared. But I'm not scared of posting online. I'm not scared of doing a Facebook Live. I'm not scared of getting up in front of people or recording a video. I've done that a million times now. But there are other things I've never done that I'm still scared to do. And I know that feeling is the feeling that I need. If that feeling is there, that hesitancy, that little bit of fear, that little bit of discomfort and uncertainty, like that's when I act. And that's always been my mantra. So knowing that you have to fake it a little bit till you make it, but then building your wins and seeing that and letting that confidence and conviction fuel you. So number one, they have a level of confidence and conviction because they have experience that they've done some stuff. And so if you haven't done anything, I would encourage you to take on a couple clients, maybe for free even, or for a very low price point, just so you can start to get some wins to see like, okay, I do know how to help people. I can make a difference. So that's number one. Second thing, huge, and I've seen this a lot, it's hard at the beginning. Second thing is they're not trying to impress their peers, and they are not worried about criticism and judgment from family and friends. So say that again. The second thing is that they're not trying to impress their peers, and they're also not scared of judgment and criticism from their family and friends. Now, this is hard because we want the support of our family and friends, don't we? We kind of want, we don't want to offend our grandma by having a cuss word. And I'm not saying you have to cuss, but if that's part of your authentic way of being for your online business and you're using that to attract the right customer, isn't it okay that like your grandma doesn't like that? I mean, I know you want to respect her and everything, but you don't have to cuss, but I'm not saying you do, but, especially if you have old stories, especially we talk about stories from maybe when we were kids or from 10 years ago or something that happened in our family dynamic, we're not blaming a family member, but they're there for context for the story. I talk a lot about, growing up and like not really eating a lot of vegetables and eating a lot of like television dinners and stuff like that. My mom and I need to have a conversation that like, that didn't make her a bad mom, but that also did influence the way that I grew up and the way that I saw food growing up. And so being able to have those conversations online, and then if you need to, go to your family member or your friend and say, hey, I want you to know that this doesn't mean anything about a relationship, but it's context for my business. I need to actually talk about this. And so you can't worry about people in your life who are not going to be your customers, by the way, criticizing you and judging you. I remember when I first started, I had like an extended family member that I was nervous that they were judging me if they thought it was stupid or they thought I was bragging. So silly. I'm like, that person is never going to be my customer. So I had to just shed all of that insecurity and shed all that self-consciousness in order to be my full authentic self online. And as soon as I started doing that, honestly, as soon as you don't need the affirmation of your family and friends is the second that you start to get it. And so working through a lot of stuff. And so when it comes to who I think has been the most successful in over the past 6 years that I've seen, it's people who can quickly move to like, this isn't about my family and friends. I have to just do my thing without worrying about how they see this, because they're not going to be your customers. They're not, maybe at the beginning they're going to like indulge you, but they're not going to be your long-term customers. So that's number two. Number three, and this takes time. I know I say that all the time, but this takes time. Successful people have a clear message. They have a clear message on who they are and what they do. They have a super clear message. And this takes some time. And a lot of things that I hear from people who are just getting started, they're like, I don't know what my message is. I feel like my message is all over the place. And chances are at the beginning, it's going to feel that way. One day you're going to throw up like a recipe, then the next day you're going to throw up like a workout, then the next day you're throwing up like some personal development mindset tip, and you're like, I don't even know who I am. And that's okay. And that's normal. So when you're first getting started, because you don't know who you are exactly in the online space. And I don't think you need to worry about how you're being perceived, but as you start throwing a bunch of things against the wall, you're going to start to see like, I don't really want to give out recipes. Like I know for me, like I don't even like cooking. So why would I put up recipes? Yes, people want them, but if I'm not pumped to do it, then like that part of my brand is probably going to just fall away. I'm never going to be known for like the most delicious recipes. I can tell you how to go to Whole Foods and get the most bomb salad, but definitely not recipes. So I think that at the beginning, it's going to feel all over the place, but the people who I see are making the biggest difference. And by the way, I think this takes about a year to a year and a half to get super clear on your messages, like crystal clear and confident in your messages. So I think a lot of you guys know Chrissy King and Kim Shaper. Some of these people are my mastermind, and all of them are amazing. And they know what they stand for, and they know what they don't stand for. And that's key. So and don't be scared to shed the things that you don't stand for. So oftentimes, if you don't feel like you're getting the traction for your business that you want, it's probably because people are confused a little bit as to who you are and what you help with. So I think that's important to remember. You need to draw a line in the sand. You need to have a clear line in the sand of the things that you stand for and what your message is. So at JoelFit, I'm very clear. I'm like moderation 100% of the time. If something is a detox, a cleanse, a jump start, any of these kind of quick fixes, like I will go off. Not only do I not agree with them, but I'll go off on them. And that needs to be okay too. It doesn't mean there's not a place for that for some people, but I will always err on the side of moderation. That to me is like, that is a core value of mine. And same thing with mindset, right? Personal development, mindset work. To me, I'm like, you always have a choice. Radical responsibility is like, it's what I breathe, right? It's how I live. Radical responsibility, you always have a choice in how you perceive the world. And I honestly just won't even bend on that. And so you need to know that. And so that goes into the fourth and last thing, which is you have to state your messages over and over and over and over again. So I know that sometimes you're going to feel like a broken record, but the people who I see are the most successful. Number one, not only do they know what their message is, but they're saying it a lot in different ways. If you guys follow Nagar Fanouni, who's a good friend of mine, she is all about body image, and she is constantly talking about it in all different ways, using different images, using different quotes, using different stories, but it's always a key message. So even though we might get a little tired of it, like, oh, I just wish I could stop talking about this, or I'm a little bit tired by, talking about body image or moderation, it's like you have to keep doing it because that's what people need to come to know you for. And so that's really key. And also, by the way, the same thing is talking to a specific client, right? Like I'm not talking to competitors who want to get up on stage. I'm not talking to people who want quick fixes. If you want that, chances are you're not going to stay around. But I'm always talking to, for me, it's a woman, 25 to 45, who is sick and tired of doing chronic dieting and wants to feel good in their clothes, wants to have their clothes zip right up, want to feel good in their skin, want to be able to go to a party and not freak out, but also want to train hard at the gym and want to be healthy. So it's like, that's the person you're speaking to. If you have a specific client, you have an ideal client, you're always speaking to that person. And chances are it's a previous version of yourself. Maybe it's someone who was struggling with something that you were struggling with 5 years ago or 2 years ago. And chances are it's going to be that kind of person. You have to keep telling them how you help them. So continue to speak to that ideal client and continue to share with them the solutions for the struggles that you know that they're having. Cool. So 4 things. Number 1, confidence and conviction, just unapologetic confidence and conviction, a little bit of fake it till you make it, and realizing that if you are feeling uncomfortable, that's the place to act from. Number 2, not trying to impress peers and not worrying about judgment and criticism from friends and family. They are not your customer. Your peers are not your customer. And the people who get over this stuff the quickest, I've seen take off. Number 3, getting clear about who you are and what you do. Super, super clear. If your message is not crystal clear to the person reading it, then we don't know what you help us with. People are confused as to who you are in the marketplace. And so many more people are now doing online training that you have to draw a line in the sand. You have to be a little edgy. You can't get away from just being like kind of warm. You have to be hot or cold. And number 3 is speak to a specific person over and over and over again. Same person, ideal client, and continue telling them the ways in which you help them. So this is going to be a variety of different stories, variety of different fears, anxieties. You're going to be addressing them from an emotional perspective. You're going to be showing them maybe the before and after picture. You're going to be walking them through that journey and through that path. Where were you before? Where are you now? And what was the moment in between? What was the turn that helped you get to that place? So those are 4 things. And I see, honestly, I have a lot of clients that have been really successful, and I have some that just feel they just continue to be stuck. And so for me, those are the biggest things, especially taking action, you guys, and operating from a place of discomfort. If you're feeling hesitant, that is the signal to you to take action, to do the thing that you're scared of doing. And I know there's a lot of kind of secondary things, but these are the 4 biggies. So hopefully it helps you guys, and I will try to see you tomorrow. I hope you guys had a great holiday if you're in the States, and I'll see you soon. Bye.